Hey y'all, welcome to the Loreverse. So I want to address something that I saw on the internet, and because it really had me kind of frustrated because I really don't like when articles and people take things out of context or try to post things that people didn't say. So I want to talk about this thing right here. So Film Buzzer, they reposted a article apparently that was with the Hollywood Reporter that stated the Harry Potter TV series will be more realistic and grounded. And now when I saw this, I was like, whoa, let me read the article and hear the exact quote because we do live in a world where whenever movie new stuff is quoted out, sometimes it's taken out of context and it can be abused to a degree that's crazy. So I went online to try to find something about it, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find the article on the Hollywood Reporter. It probably got taken off. But the damage is done. And I saw a lot of fans like getting mad about it, saying like, yo, like, does this mean they don't have enough money for the budget, etc. So I went online and did a lot of research, and I looked up the director of this project, and his name is Mark Mylod, and I tried to see if he said anything about this. So let me tell you everything that I've gathered, okay? And let's talk about the real information here. So there's no record of Mark Mylod explicitly saying that the Harry Potter TV series will be realistic and grounded in those words, but he did indicate an approach focused on naturalism and architectural realism rather than the stylized visuals of the OG films. So Mylod talked about him and his creative team, right? They are approaching Hogwarts with the mindset that Hogwarts is a real place, and they're aiming to explore its centuries-old architectural evolution, including a castle that has been lived in, and making Hogwarts more authentic. So in the Max slash Warner Bros. Showcase, right, he spoke of using the luxury of long form storytelling over 8 episodes to dig into the real depths and crevices of Hogwarts and explore and contrast between the Muggle and magical world with a beautiful attention to detail. And also, there's been, a lot of people, like a lot of like people that have been covering this closely, commented saying that that the show is aiming for more natural visuals and a grounded tone, drawing some comparisons to the projects that he has done before, where he blends fantasy with realism. But apparently, from Mark Mylod's work, a lot of the realism comes with the sets and the set pieces, not necessarily the movie itself. Not it's not like it isn't like Mark Mylod is talking about making magic seem like it isn't like taking back like for prime example. You know how like Batman, right? And the Dark Knight and in the Batman, they are very realistic takes, and we aren't going to see like a Clayface, and we're not going to see a fantastical villain in Nolan's or Matt Reeves' Batman because he's a realistic character. But with James Gunn's Batman, right, we are going to get a fantastical Batman where he's going up against fantastical bad guys. That's not what that means. Like, and people have taken this word grounded and threw that word on Mark Mylod when he never said that. Okay, so here's the TLDR on it, right? So while Mylod has not used the phrase realistic and grounded, he's clearly signaled, right, for a authentic vision, right? So look, these are just some of the things that I can say from things that I've read. Hogwarts is going to feel like a real evolving institution, not just a big fantasy set piece, right? The visuals and storytelling are intended to feel natural rather than theatrical and overly stylized. In the 8 episode format, it allows deeper and a better place to world build and have the emotional depth that the films could have never had. And the reason why the films could have never had that, because you're squeezing these into a 2 to 3 hour movie. We have 8 episodes to flesh out these books. You know what I'm saying? So there is going to be a attention to detail that we've never seen. So with that said, no official statements mention realism and tone or a dialogue viewpoint. So yeah. So like a gritty downplay tone has never been confirmed, and what Mark Mylod actually is referring to, he is talking about a evolution of the wizarding world that is faithful to Harry Potter. And honestly, it is something that we should have seen in the movies to an extent. But as I said, when you're doing a movie and the time it was getting and the time that was in, you had to go for it a different way. Doing a TV series, a 7-8 episode series, that's a whole different ball game. So I love everything that Mark Mylod has talked about, and I really like and dig the vibe that they're going with. And I don't think it's a problem. But we'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Don't fall for a lot of these news outlets and stuff. A lot of times they exaggerate stuff and be capping. So, yep, I just had to come on and address that. But have a great day, y'all, and peace out.